this will be the final Donald Trump versus Andrew Yang video I do, unless something happens with Andrew Yang and he becomes a notable figure again, like if he wins a congressional race or something. But, yeah. So I did one on the Chaotic Central channel, and I did one on this channel, so, and both times Andrew Yang won, so it's 2 for 0. So this is the Trump, or Yang versus Trump 3. And if you can't, I hope you guys like the thumbnail, because I based it off of a UFC poster. I thought it would be really cool. So, yeah, Yang's stock has dropped tremendously after his 4th place finish in the New York City primary, which is pretty bad. Pretty not good. And so for his running mate, actually I'm changing that back to Castro. I kept switching between Castro and Ossoff, and I'm just going to say his running mate's Julian Castro, former HUD secretary. And for Donald Trump, I chose New York Congresswoman Elise Stefanik, so these two will be the running mates. Stefanik will help Trump with white suburban women, and Castro will help Yang with Hispanics as well as maybe your more establishment Democrats, even though Yang's a pretty establishment himself. So let's start filling out the map. Right now we have 113 safe electoral votes for Donald Trump and 209 safe electoral votes for Andrew Yang. Likely states for Donald Trump, Alaska. I think Donald Trump will win the state by, okay, hold on. That's not what I asked for. Chart links. Perfect. Let me make it all nice and pretty. Alaska only won it by 10 in 2020. I think he'll win it by 8 against Andrew Yang. Other likely states going to the Trumpster, both Iowa and Ohio. I think he'd win them both by 9% each, close to safe. I don't want to put him in safe just yet. Since there's no polling. I don't like putting battleground states as safe unless I'm very confident about it, or if there's enough polling to back it up. Like with New Mexico, I'm very confident with Castro on the ticket, Yang would win. New Mexico's safe. As well as South Carolina, I think Yang would be able to pull out enough for it to be put in the likely column. I think enough of the youth vote in suburban South Carolina will just bloodily put it in the likely column. I think Trump wins it by 8 against good old Yang. Maine 2nd District should be safe. Now for likely Democrat states, I think, no, not Nebraska 2nd, what am I doing? Minnesota, likely D. The Minneapolis region will definitely turn out for this ticket heavily. So I think Yang will actually improve on Biden's numbers, probably an 8-point victory in the state of Minnesota. Other likely states, Maine at large, actually, scratch that. Minnesota's the only likely blue state. So Yang still has a lead, 219 to 149. Talking about lean Republican states, Texas is a big one. I think Trump wins it with 4 points, maybe 2 to 3 with Castro on the ticket. It might bring out some of the San Antonio crowd that might have voted for Trump in 2020, and also like Julian Castro would turn out for Julian in this scenario. So Texas would be closer than I would usually put it. Let's see, North Carolina, I think, would go lean D. Usually I'd have North Carolina go blue, but after Yang's loss in the New York City primary, I doubt most people would want to turn out for him. Most independents and most Trump voters would turn out for him, is what I'm trying to say. Democrats are still going to turn out for Yang, no matter what, but independents and Trump voters will not turn out for Yang. And I do think most Trump voters would turn out for Yang if Yang had won that race. So North Carolina, lean R. I think he wins it by 2 or 3. Wisconsin, no, I'm not going to say that. Likely D state, or lean D states, I want to say Georgia, definitely. I think with both Yang and Castro, the Atlanta suburbs definitely will turn out heavily. I think they won it by 2 or 3. It's just becoming a very, very deep blue state. It's pretty much Virginia right now, and I do expect it to become a safe Democrat state by 2032 at the earliest, or at the latest. New Hampshire also lean D. Usually votes to the opposite of the incumbent in most elections. It did it in 2016, did it in 2020, did it in 2012, did it in 2008. There's a long history of New Hampshire voting against the incumbent. It just hates incumbents for some reason. So, and I do think any Democrat will do worse in the state unless it's like Maggie Hassan or Jean Shaheen, then, or a Democrat from New Hampshire, then it probably won't trend to the left in 2020. Maine at large, I do think it'll go lean D as well, with both Nebraska's congressional district being safe for the opposite party. I think it just makes sense for Maine at large going 3 or 4 points for Yang. And the rest of these states will be tilt states, and I'll just go through each one that I think will be the closest from farthest for me, or excuse me, I forgot one. Nebraska's 2nd district. I don't think Trump will flip it. I think it'll get closer no matter what, but I don't think Trump's the guy to flip Nebraska's 2nd. The rest of these states will be tilts. I'll go from the farthest from closest to lean, then the farthest from lean, I guess. First state I'm going to go with is Wisconsin. I think Donald Trump would flip the state of Wisconsin in this scenario. With Andrew Yang's stock dramatically falling, Trump's voters will turn out to vote for Donald Trump instead of Andrew Yang, even though Andrew Yang used to be such a populist that became establishment, which kind of hurt him in New York City. So he probably won't win the state of Wisconsin. The next state on my list is going to be Florida. I think Trump also flips the state of, or doesn't flip it, but it'll be closer, especially with Castro, so Cubans might want to turn out for Castro. Actually, I don't know, Cubans might not because of his last name. I hate to be that guy, but voters just think like that sometimes. Most of the time. It's not fun, but I'm going to keep it tiltar. Another state, Arizona. I think Arizona will flip back to Trump's column in 2024 against Yang. Yang might be able to actually... I don't know. That's a toss-up. Pure toss-up for me. Another state, I think Pennsylvania flips to Trump's column. This gives him the election, by the way. I doubt Yang's policies are going to go over well. UBI probably is going to go over well, especially with the current inflation crisis, which will hurt him in the Rust Belt. Michigan also goes red as well. Tilt our Rust Belt, as well as the state of Nevada. So all the tilt states are going to go to Donald Trump. Again, Yang just losing in the New York City mayoral primary just hurts him so much. He had so much potential to be the face of the Democrat Party, to move it away from progressive ideas, or at least push away from radical ideas like defund the police and all that. Now he's like an establishment dog, and it shows because he came in fourth. Oh boy. Anyway, guys, here is the map. Donald Trump wins 296 electoral votes to Andrew Yang's 242. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Tell me down in the comments below. This is the Chaotic One saying peace, and don't forget to follow my Twitter at Chaotic Politics.